Hello all, my name is Krish and welcome to Morning Talks with Krish guys. Yes, this is the 12th day where I've been waking up at 6:30 a.m. and doing some amount of exercise, walking, and it is amazing till now. The experience is quite amazing, so I would suggest please go ahead and try this out. I'm going to do this for at least 6 months. I'm not going to skip even a day. That is what is the challenge that I have actually taken. So again in morning talks today we are going to talk about how Meta is going to change the future of generative AI. And I hope recently I've also seen news from OpenAI. They are planning to make the $7 trillion they were asking for, probably creating the chip industry. Right now, getting into the chip industry looks like a very good opportunity because only one player is there, one big player is there, that is Nvidia. And I think it is difficult to challenge with the Nvidia unless and until you have a very huge amount. But yes, I will talk about this in the next video. But let's talk about Meta and how they are going to probably change the future of generative AI. Now, when we talk about all these giant companies, right at the end of the day, OpenAI, Facebook, Meta, Google, right? I'll take out Facebook from that or Meta from that, and let's talk about Google. Let's talk about Amazon, AWS, right? Amazon Titan is also there as an LLM model. So OpenAI has come up with Chat GPTs, right? If I talk about Google, it is coming up with Google Gemini Pro, Google Gemini Ultra. If I talk about other companies like Mistral, Cloudy, right? So all these are LLM models, and right now everybody is in the race to get the best LLM model in terms of accuracy. And at the end of the day, they are providing that in the form of APIs, where you can specifically use them, and that is how they are planning to earn business out of it, or earn some money out of it, right? So at the end of the day, understand that a small startup cannot probably create all these LLM models from scratch. It is very difficult. So the main competing race that will be done by all these bigger companies. But now what Facebook has actually done, if you have heard about this open source models like Llama and Llama 2, Llama 2 also has a good accuracy and it is provided as an open source. Now just imagine if you provide that as an open source, that basically means it has given opportunity for people specifically to use that specific models for their use case, fine tune them, and then you can probably take care of the deployment part. Now, what are the advantages in this? We'll talk about it, and what are the disadvantages also, we'll talk about it, right? So now let's consider some of the advantages. There are some companies, right? When I speak to some of my subscribers who are currently working in some LLM project, their companies want specifically to use open source LLM because they have some concerns with respect to privacy of the data and all, right? They are companies who are working in use cases, in financial use cases and all, where they have lot of financial data. So definitely they do not want to expose any data by using any paid source LLMs itself. So considering that, they have requested their people, all the people who are working over there, please try to use open source LLM and then we will take care of the deployment part and all. So that is the reason I recently, just a week back, I got a message from one of my student who have already made a transition, and he was saying that, Krish, whatever project you have shown in your YouTube channel, try to probably do that with an open source LLM. And then I started thinking, I asked him some question, and then I understood. Now, Meta, when they say that, okay, they're going to provide this Llama 2 model, and in the future, it is also coming up with Llama 3 model. And they are saying that the Llama 3 model will be equivalent to ChatGPT 4. Now, what will happen with respect to this? When you get that kind of model, anybody can probably fine tune with their own data sets, own the custom data set. Only they have to probably take care of making it scalable, deployment and all. So that part of getting the LLM model, fine tuning it, and then taking care of the deployment part, through that also the charges what they may be paying to get this paid LLM models will get specifically reduced. Now, this is what Meta is basically doing, right? So Meta is thinking, okay, why not just provide this as an open source so that the community will also increase. Now, this has already happened. You can understand, see, when deep learning was getting popular, right, Google came up with TensorFlow. So initially 3 to 4 years everybody was using TensorFlow. right? And then you could see that the community was becoming very much bigger. They were coming up with a lot of open source models. Those models were basically trained with huge amount of data, and but just by using transfer learning, you can actually use that particular model and do some amazing things. Hugging Face is one of the example. If you probably go in Hugging Face, you will be able to find out every models over there, right? So I hope you're able to understand. Now just imagine in the future Meta again comes up with Llama 3, then again it will probably come up with another model of Llama 4, right, where it will try to increase the accuracy as it goes on, right? And this actually solves a lot of problem for other companies itself. They don't have to be dependent on any other. So this is what when Meta probably launched Llama, right, they announced, right, they want to use AI in an ethical way. They want to provide every opportunities of using AI LLM models for everyone on their own way, so that they don't have that kind of doubts with respect to privacy and all, and which is a good idea itself. Right now, if I talk about disadvantage, what will be the disadvantage, right? So people who are specifically, see, again, Meta is coming up with Llama 2, Llama 3, but after a fixed certain period of time, right? So if let's say that if there are some paid APIs, paid LLM models who are coming up with better accuracy than Meta, right? At that point of time, the customers who are specifically using this Llama 2 or Llama 3, which is probably going to come in the future, they will be dependent on Meta itself, right? Yes, unless and until there comes a lot of players later on, who comes with more open source LLM models. At that point of time, it looks like a competitive edge, because people will get an option. Okay, fine, if this is not there, this is there. But right now, if I talk about open source LLM models, right now Meta is in that particular front, in the racing front. It is in the topmost with respect to the accuracy in open source LLMs, right? Not in paid source LLMs. So this way you can specifically understand that what Meta is probably thinking and how this is going to change the future of generative AI. Now, because of this, many companies will start thinking to come up with more open source LLM models. By this way, it gives an amazing equivalent competitive edge, and it also gives an option to many companies and many clients to specifically go with based on different conditions to select the LLM models, right, of the clients itself. So this looks as an amazing opportunity for everyone, and this is how I feel Meta is actually doing a really great work. Now, obviously, OpenAI is in the foremost front with respect to accuracy and all, and many people and companies are specifically using it. If I talk about many companies, the conditions of privacy, they are also taking care of it. They're saying that, hey, we are not going to use your data probably for training our own LLM models and all. They are also taking that particular terms and condition, which is really good. And this actually gives a satisfaction to the client who may be using their models, right? Yes, if this terms and conditions are satisfied, at the end of the day, we are also on the safe side. But again, we don't know, because initially all the data that was available in the internet, that was actually used in training all these kind of models, right? But now they are saying that, hey, we are not going to use your whatever chat you're specifically doing with respect to chat GPT, whatever your company data will be, unless and until we don't have an approval from your side, we will not be using it, right? But again, it is I don't know what is going to happen over there. But again, in the terms and condition with respect to data privacy, it is said that we are not going to use your data, right? Now, this is what is there. And if you don't know, there are also some services that have already come up with AWS, like Amazon AWS Bedrock. They have integrated with multiple models, and you don't even have to worry about scalability and deployability. Deployment and scalability. You just need to use those models in the form of APIs, and you can actually, based on the token size, cost will come to you, and you can actually solve it for any use cases that you want, right? So yes, this was it from my side, but I think Meta is doing an amazing work. By this, many companies will come to this open source section where they will develop some amazing LLM models. So yes, this was it from my side. I hope you like this particular video. In the next video, we'll talk about some other thing, some amazing thing. As I said, that I'm also going to talk about OpenAI chip industry that they are planning to come up with. So yes, happy Sunday. I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you. Take care.